Doing a quick upgrade on this pad with some metal thumbsticks. Hi, welcome back to the shed. Just a quick one today. I've got my Xbox One controller, which is a bit grubby, so I'm going to take it apart and clean it up. And while it's apart, I am going to replace these two thumbsticks with some metal ones that I got for like £4 on eBay. So we will see how that goes. Okay, so this is my Xbox One controller, and the game I tend to play the most on Xbox One is Trials Rising. Also a big fan of all the other Trials games, and they do take quite a bit of wear on the triggers and the left analog stick, and they kind of build up a lot of dirt because you are constantly gripping the controller like that and just making these slight subtle movements, so your hands are in those positions all the time, and a white controller is not really ideal for that. So I am going to be taking it apart and giving it a bit of a clean, but the main reason for taking it apart is the actual thumbstick itself. Because particularly on the extreme tracks, what happens quite a lot is my fingers will get a little bit sweaty and they'll slip off this stick, and it's very close to the back button, which will restart the entire track. So what I am going to do is upgrade these with the metal sticks, which are a similar style to the ones I got from my PS4 controller a little while ago, which I really like using. They took a little while to get used to. They feel a little bit odd. They are actually a little bit taller than the original ones on my PlayStation controller anyway. But they feel really good. They give loads of control, and you are far less likely to slip off the edge. Rather than go for the bright coloured sort of mods that I'll usually do, this time I've gone with playing it safe, keeping it simple, because I actually love the design of this. It reminds me of Stormtroopers, so I'm going to keep that as is. I've got these black sticks to go in there, so all we're going to do is take this apart, have a look inside, try and get these out and put them back in. Hopefully it's an easy mod, and while I'm doing that I'll be able to clean up a lot of this mess. Okay, now this was a first for me. This is the completed product. I just want to cut this in at the start of the video because I didn't know what I was doing when I was taking it apart. So I just want to talk to you about the equipment I ended up using. The screwdriver that you'll need to take it apart is a security bit. It's a Torx T8, but it's the one with a little hole in at the end because the screws have got like a little bump in there that I hadn't realised before. An old toothbrush, a spudger or two, so you can lever these things apart, or something like these kind of kits for opening up mobile phones, and a microfiber cloth should be handy as well. And that's pretty much it for what you'd need to end up replacing these thumbsticks. Right, so first things first, I'll take out my batteries. And okay, how do we get these things open? I was just looking for some screws and then there aren't any. Right, time to have a quick Google. Right, so I'll try that. Gets in there, and there's a little catch inside, and then another one along here. I'm not entirely sure how it's attached, and I don't really want to break anything inside. I'm guessing that sort of lifts out. Oop. So they pull out there, and then that'll probably, once they're out, I'm guessing that'll sort of pull down. Right, so that didn't feel good, so let's have a little bit of an inspection. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 little tabs, and they all have like a little catch facing inwards. It felt like I might have even broken something, and you can see there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So they came out okay. Now because they face inwards, they'll hook around that part, so you're lifting it and trying to make it come away like that. Let's see if I have more luck on the next one, because that was a little bit stressful. The tab is there, so it's just level with where the B button is. So we can try and get some pressure on that point. There we go, that's out. And again, a little bit twisted and cracked there, which I'm not happy with. But it doesn't seem to have done any major damage, thankfully. Right, hopefully that's it for the stressy bit, because now I can see some screws. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, look like those sort of Torx type ones. I've got a screwdriver kit. So the 7 just seems to spin around in there. And the 8. Oh yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a bad screwdriver. Might have to find a better tool for this job. Not entirely happy with that. Okay, I've got this toolkit of all game related bits. Ah, that feels better. Okay, so that's a T8. Now the one in the other screwdriver set I had was no good, but this one feels a lot more secure. I'm bringing out the screw much more easily. Just realised as well, this Torx bit is one of the ones that's got a little hole in, so that's why the one out of my other kit wouldn't work, because inside the screw, now I've got them out and I can see a bit more clearly. Inside the screw there's a tiny little bump, which means that a regular Torx screw won't go in, but if you've got the one that's got the little hole out of it like this, it'll lock in okay. Now I think there's another screw, it feels like there's an opening there, so I'll try just popping through. Hey, there we go. And unscrewing that. It feels like everything's coming apart now, so that's about the last one. Right, so that's the back off there, and our insides all built up there. See how tricky it is. Oh yeah, dead easy for us to get to those controllers and the 2 sticks. So I will hopefully be able to just pull that off and pop the new one on. Yep, dead easy. And then that one, pull off, and new one on. Now it's quite a stiff fit, which is a good thing, because I don't want them feeling all loose and slippy inside there. I'm being careful of the back of the unit as I'm applying pressure, because I don't want to break any components or anything on there. It does take quite a bit of force to get those down. I'm not going to push them too far down because I'll be able to adjust them once it's all back together. Now while it's open, it's time for me to do a little bit of cleaning, because I can get around the edges of the buttons. Right, let's get that back together. Right, let's see. The left one feels really smooth. The right one feels like something is rubbing or scratching slightly. Try pulling it out just a smidge. That feels loads smoother. So if you put one in and it feels like it's a little bit scratchy, it's probably scratching on the insides, but because it's such a tight fit, you can pull it up a little bit and it'll stay in place. You can still push and click the buttons, that all feels okay. And there's my modded controller. And if anything, it looks newer because these are much cleaner and the whole pad's a lot cleaner, but the other ones were a little bit worn. So they look nice and clean, and they feel pretty comfortable. So I'm going to go and give it a play test and see how it goes. It should be alright. Okay, so that's it, we are all done. It looks original, because as I said before, I quite like the design of this one, and the black metal sticks look identical to the original rubber ones, but they'll hopefully wear a lot better and hopefully give me a lot more grip on that left thumb as well. So I'm going to go and play test it. In the meantime, thanks very much for watching. If you like it, subscribe for more and I'll keep putting more content out there. If you've taken a fair few of these controllers apart and you've got any tips on what makes it easier, do let me know in the comments. But in the meantime, I'm going to go and play some Trials Rising and check out this pad, see how it goes. I will see you next time. Cheers. Bye.